Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a really cool video coming for you guys. We decided to meander slowly through Arkansas and it got kind of late. We were looking for a place to stay and we found a really good one. Let me show you around camp really quickly and then I'll talk to you a little bit more about this one. So as you can see, the site that we're at, very nice. It has ample space for us to spread out, a lot more space than we had at the previous state park. The price is actually the same, about $25. This is actually Lake Fort Smith, or Fort Smith Lake State Park, and it's so nice out here. Now when we pulled in, it was later in the day, so this was just like a hope for the best moment where we were like, please let them have a site. And we saw that they have two different sections. They have one that has water, electric, and sewer, and then they have one that has water and electric. Now, right now, Dad doesn't have anything set up for the water system yet, so all we needed was electric. So we found our way over to the far side of the loops, and there was one available. So, yeah. So as you can see, Dad is now plugged in, but something kind of neat about whenever he plugs in the van that I think is kind of cool that all of us should potentially be doing, he tested the plug first. And this is kind of what that looked like. You can see he's plugging in a device. If it lights up, it shows the plug's working, but it's not overloaded. And then he can plug in his regular power, and then it goes straight into the van and it goes into the batteries. And then he has a trickle charger currently plugged in so it can charge onto his batteries. And then that'll charge his batteries while we're also using the power in the van. So that's really neat. But I've got a little bit more exploring to do before it gets dark. So I think I'm gonna take you guys over to the bathhouse so we can go check it out. And then we're gonna figure out what exactly we're gonna do for the night, because we got here a little bit earlier than we have been getting into camp. I'm kind of tired, so I can definitely see some exhaustion setting in. But I want to show you guys around the camp the rest of the way first. So Dad's getting everything all set up, getting it all charging. We picked up a few extra things along the way because we thought we were going to actually be heading toward camp tonight to the house. So we're going to have to move some of the things that we picked up into the front, but that's okay. In the meantime, he's kind of clearing out a little bit of space, figuring out what we have. I'm going to take you guys over to the bathhouse though. Okay, I checked in advance, no one's in here. This is nice, this is super nice. So inside we have bathroom stalls and then a shower, I think. So we're gonna go check this out. Okay, so there's one stall here and then it's just kind of like a big open expanse right here. And then you can put your clothes outside. But there's also one closing stall and you can come in here and there's a bench. And so this is really nice. I can definitely see a shower in here in my future, either tonight or in the morning. It's getting a little chilly, so I don't know if it'll be tonight. It might be though, because it's still kind of early. So all in all, this is winning. The table, of course, outside had no sags, no drags because it was metal. The walk to the bathroom was not super far. And there's not a ton of campsites here. There's only 30. And of those 30, only about, I think it was 21 to 30 are actually the ones that are up in this loop. So not a ton of campsites. Pretty nice. But of course I'm gonna show you guys how this goes kind of as we stay here, what my final thoughts are, how we slept. I will say, I'm gonna try to go over to the visitor center in the morning and show you what it's like too. And this is just gonna be a good little campground review, I think. It's gonna be great. I'm really excited about this one. Just outside of the bathroom, there's this little information station that has a map here, and that's pretty nice to be able to see where everything is. Now they do have cabins and also a lodge here, kind of in the opposite direction where we're staying. They also have a really nice recreational area that has a pool. That's not open right now because it is fall, but during the regular season it is, and that's pretty neat. In addition, the kiosk has some other information. Always read these because it tells you about all the cool things happening in the park. Definitely recommend. But from here you can kind of see where the van is. So the van is the first white van that you see, and between the van and where we are all of this is like overflow parking. So that's pretty nice also. Because the sites aren't super huge, if you have more than one vehicle, this allows you to pull it over into the overflow so that you're not in the roadway and blocking other people. I really like that. There's also a few trails, I think, that depart out of this area somewhere. We'll have to go and see where those are at the visitor center tomorrow though. Okay, also I have a little bit of a follow-up now that I've come back from the restroom. So I've been using this battery, and you can see it's at 89%. I have literally charged my Apple Watch every night of our trip. I have charged my phone every night of our trip. I left the DC on all day long today to see if it would slowly deteriorate and drain. I have also plugged my laptop into it, and I have charged my Beats headphones from dead, and it is only at 89%. So far, so good on this particular power station. Of course, this is the one that I just recently unboxed before this trip, and so you'll be seeing a little bit more of this one as I'm kind of working it out and seeing if I have any hang-ups with it, but so far, I am liking it. I always try to tell you guys kind of as I go what I'm thinking about different products, and this one being brand new, I'm getting it out and I'm trying new things, and so far so good. It's also been kind of sitting at an angle because I wanted to test if that would do anything weird with it, and in the space that it's in, I could either have jacked it up just a little bit or I could just leave it there, and I was just curious to see if that affected how it actually works, and so far it has not. So I'm really happy so far, but I'll continue to test this and I'll share my full thoughts and review on it pretty soon, because I'm going to be taking it out again and really testing it after we get back to Texas, and then I get in my van and then come back up this direction. Okay, so I ran my fan all last night, plus I charged my phone and also my Apple Watch, and it only drained about 5% of the battery. And I'm kind of surprised because that is a lot of power coming off of it using just the DC port. I'm really trying to run this thing down and it doesn't want to run down. Like, I don't understand. I used the fan from about 1 o'clock until now it's 9 o'clock. And so 8 hours of continuous running, both fans at about mid-level, and it only pulled that much. My phone is starting to be one of those things that pulls about 2 to 3 watts whenever it's charging, and it charges kind of continuously through the night because I listen to rain to help me sleep. So 2 to 3 watts continuously from 8:30 last night until 9 o'clock, and then the fans and then my watch, it only takes it about 2.5 hours to charge, so it pulls about 4 to 5 watts max, and 2 hours. So doing all of that mental math, I still only lost 5%. But I'm gonna go get ready for the day, and then I'll go up to the visitor center and show you guys what it looks like. All in all, I slept pretty well, and again, the van is doing pretty well when it comes to the comfort level, so I'm very excited to see where Mom and Dad end up going after Dad finishes up all these projects. But for now, I need to go find my clothes and get up to the bathhouse. Okay guys, we came up to the visitor center. Since we pulled in late last night, we have to come up here to pay for our site. And if you come here before they close, you are required to check in at the visitor center. But again, we pulled in after hours, so there's signs everywhere saying, if you find a spot, just come here before 10 a.m. to pay the man, so to speak. But I'm really excited about this because this visitor center is actually quite large, so we're gonna see some things inside, I think. And so that's gonna be really fun and a great way for us to wrap up our trip here to the Fort Smith Lake area. This has been really nice. It was very quiet last night. I slept super well. The only thing I will say is our campground had one lonely little light up by the restrooms, and so it was very dark, which is really nice for camping, but really kind of a lot whenever there's animals and critters in the woods. Last night when I was on my way to the restroom, I heard something, and guess what, guys? I booked it fast. I was like, it's probably just a deer, but I couldn't remember if I was in bear territory or not, and I was half asleep because it was in the middle of the night. So yeah, that happened. Dad came over here and he found this one. This is the Ozark Highlands Trail, and it passes through Lake Fort Smith here. 253 miles. Wow. It's apparently the longest one here in the natural state. So keep that one in mind also. But look, they have two separate blazes, one white and one that is light blue. All spurs are light blue and the trail is marked with white blazes. So if you're in this area and you happen to see these, guess what? That's the trail, and it is definitely rated moderate to difficult. Oh wow, guys, this is cool. This is very cool. So as soon as you walk in, you have this cabin, then there's a gift shop over to the right, and then there's some really neat displays. So I think we're gonna roam around a little bit. Oh, this is great. So most of the Arkansas state parks have really great displays, but some of them have better ones than others. These are educational stops that we can learn a little bit more about the park itself. So like, for example, here, this is called Moving the Old Homestead. And it says that the wagon was the pickup truck of the 1830s. So here you find some of the things that you would pack into that wagon. And of course the wagon would look like this. Would you bring this? Great idea. You can use this rope to pull your wagon out of the mud. That's kind of cool. So it continues going on. Would you bring a can opener? No. And then on and on. And it gives you the reason behind each of these items. Now, each of the parks that have these displays, they correlate to the place that you're at. So for example, we've been to Hobbs before and they talk about the bat population and all the little critters that you would find. And then like nature hikes that you can do right outside the visitor center so you can find scavenger hunts. But here, they focus on the history of this area, and that is so neat. In fact, this is what one of those would have looked like. This is all that you would have had to move everything from the place that you were coming from to the place that you were going to here in the Ozarks. And you can see there's not a ton of room in here, but you would have had to meticulously placed every item because there weren't stores like we have here now in the more modern days. So you would have had to bring your food, your supplies, all the things that you needed for building your new home, your family itself, and everything in between. Now, in addition to that, they do have these little nature books that tells you about some of the different animals that are in here. And they have all sorts of different critters roaming around in this area, including raccoons and beavers. They have the deer, which we were talking about, that I saw several of when we pulled into camp yesterday afternoon, and even possums. They also have this beautiful area that you can go out to at the viewpoint, and you can walk all the way down to the lake and see the lake views because this park sits right on the side of the lake. Speaking of the lake, you can find some of the things that you might see in the lake right here. And they have detailed information about each one of them, and also some of the iconic photos from previous postcards. They have some fishing items here, and then this really cool display, which during this time of day has a little bit of the glare from the windows, but it's an underwater scape with some of the fish showing you the different dynamics of where some of them live. Now, there's also some really good information about the WPA and how they build lakes and things like that here. So I definitely encourage you to check out this visitor center. It is definitely worth it. Not only do they have the outdoor recreation with the lake and the trails and also that water park, but they also have this cool information stop for some cool brain wrinkles. So I really like this. It's a great place, and I'm glad we stopped here. Definitely one that I think you should put on your bucket list if you like state parks. And guess what, guys? They even have patches. Some of the places that I've stopped lately don't, but I was able to get a patch for my van. It looks like they also have a short video that they actually run right beyond this store and talks a little bit about the WPA. And then there's this, which I'm not going to go near because I did see that there's a little snake display in this. I don't think that they're in there right now, but now Dad and I came up against this wall and it just looks like a really cool mural, but then it actually opens and reveals little fun facts about all the different parts of the scene. So you can raise the newspaper and it tells you about the newspaper or the courthouse. Pretty neat stuff. I really like this. This is something I hadn't seen anywhere else. And again, when you just walk in, it looks like a mural, but the closer that you get, you see that there's texture and dimension. That's cool. Of course, inside the visitor center, I picked up some future adventure ideas. There's a couple zip lines. There is a caving map for both Arkansas and Missouri. And there's this really cool museum at Petit Jean, which is another state park that I need to go check out eventually with you guys. I'm always in the neighborhood for some new adventures. Now, am I going to do these immediately? Probably not. But at the same time, it gives me an idea of what's there so I can put them on my list, find the best prices, find the best times to visit, and then be able to share them with you all so I can give you all the tips and tricks. I've had a really good time here at this state park. I hope you have too. It's been a great stay, quiet stay, very dark stay, very restful, and all in all, I would definitely come back here, and I think I in fact will. Dad just found out that there's actually a senior discount. Otherwise, the sites are like $25 a night. You get it for $20 with the senior discount. So if you are looking for a nice spot, come to Arkansas. And if you are a senior, remember to tell them because you get a little bit of money off. So that's something kind of nice too. Dad's over here checking out another sign. I'm going to go catch up with him. But remember, guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Bye.